What's up, guys? Coming at you today with a full slate of MLB action on Sunday, August 24th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. My pick that, regardless of price, I think is the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Saturday was kind of brutal out there, guys. Some tough beats there on the NCAA football on the premium side, some underperforming teams there on MLB. On our side, guys, we did get off to a great start there with the Red Sox at minus 135, a comfortable 12-1 win. Boston was up 5-1 heading into the ninth, then piled on 7 more runs. Crochet was great over his 7 innings, striking out 11, and the Yankees now have to be worried about Will Warren, who did not have a good time out there at all. Unfortunately, we end up on the wrong side of a one-run game there on the Orioles. Both starters were absolute trash, and it ended up the weak-hitting Astros managed to score one more run in what was eventually a 9-8 loss there for the Orioles. Backing Dean Kremer did not work out. Not something we were usually into doing, and turns out we should have been skeptical. Now, we also had the Brewers at minus 135. A total and complete bullpen implosion from the Brewers led to them losing 7-1. The Giants' bullpen is nuts, but not as good as the Brewers' hitters were making them look there on Saturday. So that was an annoying loss. We had the Cubs at minus 146. They're up 10-0 in the bottom of the sixth, so that's looking like very likely another win. So hopefully we can put that one on the board. But our dog of the day, that was a tough one, guys. The Royals had their chances, but, guys, we back walking. He goes out there, looks mediocre, gave up 8 hits and 3 runs over his 6 innings. The real problem was, though, Paddock had an excellent start against Kansas City, not something that I felt like we had much reason to expect there. So that was a tough one and, a pretty close game. We had the Reds at minus 130 as our huge lock of the day, and Abbott completely let us down in one of his worst starts of the season. Despite going against one of the worst pitching staffs in the majors, the Reds' offense managed only 1 run. This is why I will not be taking the Cincinnati Reds seriously as a playoff team if they make the playoffs, or really I'm not taking them that seriously as a team that could potentially make the playoffs. So yeah, an annoying day. Looks like we're probably going to be 2-4 overall. So looking for a bounce back here on a Sunday, and we've got a pretty good slate of games. Got a full 15-game slate there on Sunday. So we're going to dive right in, get after it, guys. We're first up going to be looking at the Colorado Rockies, heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates. The Rockies come in this game 37-93 on the year. They haven't looked very competitive in either of the first 2 games in this series. They'll hand the ball in this one to McCade Brown. This young 25-year-old coming up from the minors to make his Major League debut. We'll see how it goes. I'm not exactly expecting him to go out there and be nuts, but it is the Pirates, so maybe he could have a decent outing. Obviously, when the Rockies bullpen gets involved, it's been terrible this year. One of the worst 2 bullpens in the majors, and the offense has scored 1 total run so far in this series, and they're going to have to go up against Skeens in this game. So I don't have really anything positive to say about these Colorado Rockies in this game. Now, the Pirates, on the other hand, despite being 56-74 on the year, they have won 4 out of 5. They're going to hand the ball to Skeens in this one, like I was saying. He's 7-9 this year, a 2.16 ERA. That being said, I would say 3 out of his last 4 starts haven't been great, including a kind of mediocre start there against the Colorado Rockies. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs allowed, and an 8-5 loss. So not an amazing look there. Obviously, the books are expecting Skeens to bounce back here, but we'll see what happens. The Pirates' bullpen, while not as bad as the Rockies, is not great. A 4.11 bullpen ERA is not ideal. The offense has hit the ball well in the first 2 games of the series, scoring 9 and 5 respectively, but over the course of the year, this is the worst offensive team in the majors, last in runs scored and last in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers, guys, I think they're all kinds of out of whack for this game. The Rockies are plus 300. The Pirates are minus 380. We've got a total of 7.5 in this game. The Rockies are 16-47 on the road. That's an MLB worst mark on the road. Obviously, they're terrible. They're 36-26-1 to the under on the road. The Pirates are 37-30 at home, 34-31-2 to the under at home. I don't think the Pirates deserve to be minus 380 favorites against anyone, let alone a Rockies team that's, going to be going up against Skeens, a guy that hit pretty well the other day. So I'll actually lean a bit towards the Rockies here, plus 300. This is going nowhere in the pinned comment. Don't come after me in the comments. Be like, you told us to take the Rockies. Like, this is not a huge lean or anything like that. I just don't think the Pirates deserve to be that big of favorites against anyone. And Skeens did struggle against the Rockies the last time he faced them. Next up, guys, we're looking at the St. Louis Cardinals, heading to Tampa Bay to take on the Rays. The Cardinals took the 10-6 loss there in Game 2 at 64-66. They're not eliminated, obviously, but they're not having a great time in that wild card hunt. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Matthew Liberatore, who's 6-10 this year, a 4.13 ERA. His last start was against the Marlins. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Wasn't a disaster, and we did see the Cardinals win that game 8-3, but he has not been great over his last couple starts. We'll see what he can do if he can bounce back. He's had some great outings this season, don't get me wrong, but I'm not necessarily in love with what I'm seeing from Liberatore here as the year stretches on. He's a young guy. These young starters can tend to have a little bit of a tough time this deep in the season, but we'll see what he can do. Obviously, the Cardinals bullpen's been excellent this year, a 3.65 bullpen ERA. Not going to be complaining about them at all. The offense, 6-7-2, 7-8-4 over their last few games is honestly not terrible. This is looking like an MLB average offense at the moment. 15th in runs scored, 15th in on base percentage. Not nearly as good as they were in the first half of the season where they were looking like an elite team at the plate, but still, I don't have a lot of terrible stuff to say about the Cardinals at the plate. We'll see what they can do here against Tampa Bay. The Rays at 62 and 67 on the year are going to have to go on quite the run to be in the playoff race there in the American League. They'll hand the ball in this one to Ryan Pepiot, who's 8-10 on the year, a 3.95 ERA. He's coming off a couple pretty bad starts. Really struggled against the Athletics, albeit in a 7-4 win. Then had a bad time against the Giants. 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs allowed against the Giants in a 7-1 loss. That is not a great look there for Pepiot. So could he bounce back in this game going against the Cardinals? Absolutely. Do I think it's a lock to happen? I absolutely do not. So we'll see what he can do. We'll see what that Rays bullpen can do. They've been a decent bullpen all year long, so I'm not super worried about the bullpen, but the offense, while they are coming off a 10-run day, I mean, Williams putting up a home run and 3 RBIs in an amazing debut. Very, very cool. We'll see if they can back it up in this one. They scored 10, 4, 4, 3, 1, and 2 over their last few games. They're down to 14th in runs scored and 9th in batting average. This team was looking elite at the plate for a while. Not really the case anymore. So looking at the numbers for this one, guys, the Cardinals are plus 105. The Rays are minus 125. We've got a total of 9 in this game. The Cardinals are 29 and 36 on the road, 33, 29, and 3 to the over on the road. Tampa Bay is a 500 team at home, 35, 28, and 3 to the under at home. I think this isn't the most insane spot to back under 9. I don't think we could see a low-scoring game in this one potentially, but I don't love that spot necessarily. In terms of a side, I will take the Rays at minus 125. I don't trust Liberatore at all. It's not like Pepiot's been throwing the ball great, so this game's not going to make the pin comment, but I do think the Rays probably managed to get the win in this one at home. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Houston Astros headed to Baltimore to take on the Orioles. The Astros at 72 and 58 on the season now have a 2.5 game lead over Seattle there in the AL West. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Spencer Arrighetti, who's 1-4 this year, a 6.94 ERA. He's trying to make his way back from injury. Obviously, his season didn't really, I guess his season started on time, but then he missed, 4 months, and then his 3 starts since then. He did have a good start against the Red Sox, but other than that, it's been pretty bleak. So we'll see what he does here against the Orioles. I'm not expecting miracles here. Obviously, the Astros bullpen has been excellent this season, so I'm not worried about that. But I am a little bit worried about the bats still. I know they busted out of that slump in this series so far, scoring 7, 10, and 9 runs, but they're in for maybe a little bit of a shock here going up against an elite level pitcher. So we'll see what they do. They are 21st in runs scored this year, but 5th in batting average. They've shown they can actually do something positive at the plate. The Orioles come into this game fresh off a disappointing performance from Kremer there yesterday, but they've got the medicine here. They're going to bounce back by handing the ball to Trevor Rogers. He's 6-2 on the season, a 1.41 ERA, and he has been absolutely lights out, guys. Over his last 5 starts, he's gone at an average of 7 innings per start, giving up less than 1 earned run per outing, and the Orioles are 4-1 over those starts, including wins against Boston, Seattle, the Phillies, and the Rockies. And the only loss was a game where Rogers went 8 innings, gave up 4 hits and 1 run there against the Cubs, and the Orioles lost that game 1-0. So Rogers has been absolutely insano level good. I'm expecting something similar from him in this outing because the Astros are not nearly as good at the plate as they've been looking in their last couple games. Obviously, the Orioles bullpen is a concern, but with Trevor Rogers on the mound, that takes a lot of pressure off of the bullpen. The offense has been hitting the ball. They've scored 8, 7, and 2 so far in this series. Definitely not looking awful at the plate. They are 18th in runs scored this year. They're 14th in slugging percentage. So this team not looking like a joke at the plate, and going up against Arrighetti, a guy that's being shelled, I'm definitely thinking the Orioles might have a bounce back in them. Now, looking at the numbers, the Astros are plus 120. The Orioles are minus 140. A total of 9 in this game. Houston's 33 and 31 on the road. 31, 28, and 5 to the over on the road. Baltimore's 30 and 32 at home. 32, 28, and 2 to the over at home. With trends towards the over in this game, I still don't love it. I'll be staying away from the total, but I do think this is an excellent bounce back spot here for the Orioles, especially with Trevor Rogers on the mound. I think we're going to see those Astros bats absolutely pull a disappearing act in this one, and I wouldn't be shocked if he went out there and pitched 7, 8, maybe even a complete game here against an Astros team that's not going to be super locked in, especially if they see the Athletics eventually lose their current game against the Orioles. They're in good shape in this one. I think the Astros with Arrighetti on the mound are going to take their foot off the gas. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, UFC, NFL preseason, and NCAA football picks. We've got NFL regular season already posted over there for week 1 in the premium section with more picks still to come. I do not doubt it. Obviously, Major League Baseball, guys, has been very, very good this year. A very solid 2025 season overall. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not, usually will not always match what you see here in the video, as I'm not the premium MLB handicapper for Stump the Spread. We've got a monster over there with many more years of experience. We've got a different guy who's a great NCAA football handicapper. We've got an NFL guy over there, like tons and tons of work going into these picks every single day. Now, there have been some tough ones. The NCAA football got off to a really, really rough start, losing the first 2 premium picks. But guys, those are some really bad beats. Sam Houston at plus 10.5 literally came half a yard from winning in that, or covering in that game. And Stanford really just imploded there down the stretch. They were looking to go up big in that game and just blew it. Now, that's one of the things you have to worry about all the time when you're betting college sports. These are kids out there. They can make some pretty big mental mistakes, but we were clearly on the right side of both of those. Just some bad luck there down the stretch. Now, we still got the Chargers at -1 live there in the NFL preseason. Already cashed the Ravens at -2.5 in NFL preseason. That was a nice 1-unit play. Our biggest NFL preseason play so far. They're cashing as a nice look. The Royals did not come through as a 1-unit play there. That was a tough. But they did have the Red Sox there. That was a win. And the Dodgers is a 1-unit play. Banking on them having something of a bounce back and looking like a real baseball team. Well, they kind of refused to do that. And that Padres pitching staff continues to look amazing. So a little bit of a rough day there for the premium, no doubt about it. But such bad beats there on the college side. So I'm expecting a quick bounce back there, guys. So definitely consider getting over there, checking out the premium content. Maybe this is a buy low spot. Maybe the bounce back is incoming maybe for Sunday. So we'll see if that can happen, but definitely check that out. Also get over there, get on that free email list, guys. It's absolutely free. It's 1 email straight to your inbox every single day. All they need is your name and your email address to sign up for a free account over there at Stump the Spread. And you'll be getting at least 1 free pick, like I was saying, but also tons of information on niche sports betting like golf, tennis, a big NASCAR write-up just went out. A big UFC write-up just went out. All kinds of good stuff in there. WNBA is often covered in those emails as well. And there can be the Bankroll Builder Challenge in there, as well as, parlays are often included in those emails. So definitely get over there and check that out. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us every single day, click that little join button right below the video to become a YouTube channel member. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos. They get their name up on screen in every single video, but more importantly, they get access to our members-only giveaways, and we'll be doing a members-only giveaway for a Stump the Spread hoodie here on the 25th. So definitely get in the mix. Check that out. We'll be doing a random spin. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you see these happen every single week. A spin of a wheel in the video. Everybody can see it, and one random channel member walks away with a free Stump the Spread hoodie mailed straight to their house. So definitely get in that on if you're interested, guys. But let's dive back in. We've got a full slate to cover here on a very busy Sunday. And next up, we'll be looking at the New York Mets going on the road to take on the Atlanta Braves. The Mets come into this game fresh off a nice 9-2 win there yesterday. Now, they're only 69-60 on the year, so not having the season they imagined, but watching the offense come alive has to be a great feeling there for the Mets fans. They're going to be hitting the ball in this game to David Peterson, hoping he can have a solid start. He's 8-5 on the year, a 3.18 ERA, and he's coming off a fantastic outing, one of his best starts of the year there against the Nationals. An 8-1 win for the Mets. He went 8 innings, gave up 4 hits, only a single earned run while striking out 10. So we'll see if he can run it back against an Atlanta team that shelled him back on the 13th. So that's got to be something of a concern. We'll see. Also coming off a prolonged start. Has he had any super long starts this year, and how did he look? A long start going into the All-Star break, sure, but a long start against Atlanta, which he was okay in, but then got shelled against the Phillies. So this is definitely a guy we're worried about coming off of an extended outing. Now, the Mets bullpen, a 3.95 bullpen ERA. They're not looking nearly as good there in the pen recently as they looked in the early portion of the season. And the offense, well, the offense has picked up, no doubt about it, scoring 21 runs combined over the first 2 games of this series. We'll see if they can do that here in Game 3. Obviously, this offense, though, has not been exactly what they would have imagined with the size payroll that the offense has. So, looking at their opponent in this one, the Braves have lost 2 in a row, but they've been playing well down the stretch. They did win 2 out of 3 against the Mets not even a couple weeks ago, just a few days ago. They'll hand the ball in this one to Bryce Elder, who's 5-9 on the year, a 6.29 ERA. His last time on the mound got shelled by the White Sox. Not a great look. His last start against the Mets, though, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Not a bad outing, and especially in a game we saw the Braves win 4-3. So we'll see if he can replicate a little bit of that in terms of his history. Besides, that's the only time he's faced the Mets this year. We'll see what Bryce Elder can do. Obviously, this 26-year-old has not had the season that the Braves were hoping for, but some decent history there against the Mets. So we'll see how that goes. The bullpen for Atlanta has been all over the place. We'll say all over the place. It hasn't been great. A 4.07 bullpen ERA isn't ideal. The offense obviously hasn't hit the ball incredibly well in this series, but hasn't been terrible down the stretch. They are still 16th in runs scored, 10th in on-base percentage, so this team has some bats. They've got some bats. They're not the scariest lineup, but they probably are a little bit scary to David Peterson, who's really struggled against them. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Mets are minus 130. The Braves are plus 110. We've got a total of 9 out there in this one. The Mets are 27-36 on the road, so not a great road team. 31-27-5 to the under on the road. The Braves are a 500 team at home, 34-26-4 to the under at home. I'm not interested in the total in this game, but I'm very interested in the Braves at plus 110. If Bryce Elder can even go out there and be decent, I think Peterson's going to have a rough time here once again against Atlanta, and he's coming off an extended start. This might feel a little bit sketchy to you guys, but the Braves at plus 110 has a great chance to make the pin common, and they could potentially be our dogs of the day. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Washington Nationals headed to Philadelphia to take on the Phillies. The Nationals took the tough 6-4 loss there in Game 2 after winning Game 1 of this series. Here in Game 3, they're going to give the ball to Jake Irvin. He's 8-8 on the year, a 5.30 ERA. This kid's a real feast or famine kind of guy, but the last 4 starts, been a lot of famine. Has not looked great out there. We'll see what he can do against the Phillies, a team that he has not faced since back in April, and he was pretty bad in that outing as well. So definitely worried about Jake Irvin in the spot. I'll always be worried about that Nationals bullpen. A 5.66 bullpen ERA doesn't exactly fill me with optimism. They've been the worst bullpen in the majors basically all season. The offense, 4-5-9, 5-1-9 over their last few. They have been hitting the ball. They're 19th in runs scored and 20th in batting average, but they're swinging the bats okay right now. We'll see what they do against the Phillies here in Game 3. Obviously, bad news there for the Phillies about Wheeler. They come into this game 75-54 on the season, though, and they're handing the ball in this game to Ranger Suarez. He's been all over the place. He's 9-6 this season, a 3.25 ERA. He went just a terrible start there against the Reds, but then bounced back with a nice start against the Mariners his last time on the mound. We'll see what he can do here against the Nationals, a team that he has not faced at all this season. No, he hasn't faced the Nationals this year. So we'll see which version of Ranger Suarez we get in this game. Definitely not a lock that he's going to go out there and be amazing, but he could. The Phillies bullpen, very unlikely they go out and be amazing. 4.27 bullpen ERA, not filling with lots of optimism. The offense, you never really know what's going to show up there for the Phillies at the plate. 6-4-11, 6-12-11 over their last few games. Looks like they're hitting the ball great. They are 9th in the majors in runs scored and 2nd in batting average. So this is certainly one of the elite offenses in the majors, but a little bit inconsistent. Definitely a little bit inconsistent. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Nationals are plus 220. The Phillies are minus 275. A total of 9.5 in this one. The Nationals are only 27-36 at home on the road, 32-26-5 to the over on the road. The Phillies are 40-22 at home, 32-26-4 to the over at home. With trends here pointing towards the over, I don't hate over 9.5 in this game. I'm not going to dive on board on that one, but I do like the Phillies here. Now, minus 275 is obviously very expensive. You could take a minus 1.5. Obviously, Jake Irvin has terrible history against them, and Suarez has been is coming off of a good start. So give me the Phillies here with a good level of confidence. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Kansas City Royals headed to Detroit to take on the Tigers. Now, the Royals did lose the first 2 games of this series. A couple pretty close, pretty competitive games, but not able to get over the hump. At 66-64 on the year, they're keeping their heads, maybe not above water, but keeping themselves kind of in the mix there for the American League wild card. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Seth Lugo, who's 8-6 on the year, a 3.73 ERA. He is coming off a good start there against the Rangers. He struggled a few starts in a row there, or I guess 2 starts in a row, but then a great start against the Rangers his last time out. 6 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. So we'll see what he can do here against the Tigers. Obviously a slightly different team than the Rangers at the plate. He did face Detroit back in late May and really didn't have a great time, but he wasn't having a great time in general then. So maybe we'll see Lugo go out there and be good. I'm a little bit worried about him. I'm not too worried about the Royals bullpen, although there have been some problems down the stretch. The offense is starting to fall off again as well. 2, 5, 6, 3, 5, and 4 over their last few games. While not a disaster, is obviously not elite. They're 28th in runs scored this year, 17th in batting average, 23rd in on-base percentage. So we'll see what they can get done at the plate here against the Tigers, who are 78 and 53 on the season. They've won 5 in a row. They've got an 11.5 game cushion there in the AL Central. They're going to give the ball to Jack Flaherty in this game. He's 7 and 12 this season, a 4.51 ERA. He dominated the Astros his last time out. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 9 and walked 1. Will we get that same version of him in this outing? Well, I don't know, guys, because we saw him struggle against the White Sox and the Twins recently. So we'll see what he does against the Royals. Has he faced Kansas City this year? Has not faced the Kansas City Royals this season. So we'll see what Flaherty does out there. Definitely not somebody I have tons of confidence on, just not that consistent on the mound. The Tigers' bullpen starting to rebuild some consistency, headed in the right direction, a 3.97 bullpen ERA, and the offense, they're figuring things out as well. 4.77, 1.10, 1, and 8 over their last few games. They're 8th in the majors in runs scored. They are 12th in on-base percentage, but 8th in slugging percentage. This Tigers team is no joke at the plate. We'll see what they can do against Lugo, though. Definitely a veteran who, while he has bad history against him this season, is probably capable of giving him some trouble. But looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Royals are plus 125. The Tigers are minus 145, a total of 8.5 in this one. The Royals are 30 and 33 on the road, 32, 30, and 1 to the under on the road. Detroit's 43 and 24 at home, 33, 29, and 5 to the over at home. I kind of feel like the Royals should find a way to get the win in this game and avoid losing their 3rd straight game and, avoid losing here on Sunday, a day where, kind of crazy stuff can happen. We would be banking on a letdown day from Flaherty, which I don't think is insane. So give me the Kansas City Royals here as a very small lean, but this is not a pinned comment spot. Rolling along, guys, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Miami Marlins. The Blue Jays at 76 and 54 on the season, I'm sure, are very happy to eventually come out with the win in that marathon game there yesterday. They eventually won in extras 7-6. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Kevin Gausman. He's 8 and 9 on the year, a 3.78 ERA, coming off a decent start against the Pirates. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Nothing too special, but over his last 3 outings, definitely very reasonable stuff. We'll see what he can do here against the Marlins. Obviously not the scariest team, but not a nothing team. He hasn't faced them this season, but I'm expecting Gausman to go out there and be very serviceable in this game. The Toronto bullpen seems like it's headed in the right direction. A 4.02 bullpen ERA, though, is still not amazing. The offense is getting it done, though. 7-5-1, 7-2, and 4 over their last few, but they're currently 7th in runs scored in the majors, 1st in both batting average and on-base percentage. This is a very dangerous offense, and that's why they've got a 5-game lead over Boston there in the AL Central now, or in the AL East. They're going to go up against the Marlins in this one, who've lost 4 out of 5. They're, 9 games below 500 now, so their season not looking so great. They're going to hand the ball to Yuri Perez. This young guy came out looking real good there for a few starts, but he's 5-3 now, a 3.48 ERA. He was mediocre against the Cardinals his last time on the mound, and honestly, his last 3 starts have left an awful lot to be desired. So we'll see if he can bounce back here, but doing that against the Toronto Blue Jays feels like an awfully big ask to me. So we'll see what he can do. The Marlins bullpen, obviously nothing too special, a 4.07 bullpen ERA. Kind of seems like where they belong, if I'm being honest. The offense, 6-2-6, 4-3, and 5 over their last few games is honestly pretty decent hitting for a team that's 19th in runs scored, 18th in on-base percentage, and 17th in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Blue Jays are minus 135. The Marlins are plus 115. We've got a total of 8 in this one. Toronto's a 500 team on the road. They're 33, 29, and 4 to the over on the road. The Marlins, they're 29 and 34 at home, 35 and 28 to the under at home. I'm not interested in that total of 8, but I am very interested in the Blue Jays at minus 135. I think they come up with a pretty convincing win in this one. Yuri Perez just has not looked as good over his last few starts. Gausman's been very steady, and those Toronto bats are very, very live. Give me the Blue Jays here at minus 135. Next up, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins. They're headed to Chicago to take on the White Sox. The Twins lost 7-3 there in Game 2, and I mean, I don't have a lot to be excited about for either one of these teams. The Twins don't have a confirmed starter for this game, so that's obviously pretty annoying. And it's not like their rotation has been great this year, obviously. I mean, they're 28th in quality starts. So, yeah, not exactly a rotation that I'm willing to, they'll put somebody good out there. Like, they probably can't. Now, the bullpen for the Twins, also a problem all year long. A 4.23 bullpen ERA. Not super jazzed up about that. And the offense, 3.93, 2, 3, and 8. Kind of feast or famine. Obviously, they've been banged up this season. They're 23rd in runs scored. They're 24th in batting average. The Twins, not a team I get super excited to back. Now, they'll be going up against the White Sox, obviously, another team that you're not super excited to be backing. They're fresh off that 7-3 win. Montgomery hitting that grand slam. Cool. They're going to hit the ball in this one. Yerandris Gomez, he's 3-1 this year, a 5.53 ERA. He's coming off an okay start against Atlanta, I guess, if you're being generous. I mean, the White Sox did win 13-9, but he gave up 4 runs on 7 hits over 5 innings of work. So not exactly dominating, but he has been throwing the ball okay over his last 2 times on the mound. So we'll see how this one goes. The White Sox bullpen, not a complete disaster, but not great. The offense, I guess not a complete disaster right now. 7-7-0, 10-13-2. They're hitting the ball a little bit, but they're 27th in runs scored and 28th in batting average. So I'm not going to get too freaked out. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Twins are minus 136. The White Sox are plus 116, a total of 9 in this game. Minnesota's 26-38 on the road, 34-27-3 to the under on the road. The White Sox are 26-37 at home, 33-25-5 to the over at home. Once again, not a spot where I'm seeing value on the total, but I will lean a bit towards the White Sox at plus 116 here at home. I don't necessarily love it, and I obviously don't know who's starting for the Twins, so this game comes with a question mark for sure, but I do think the White Sox at home have a decent shot. Rolling right along, we've got the San Francisco Giants headed to Milwaukee to take on the Brewers. The Giants come into this game 62-68 on the year. They won 7-1 there yesterday, so yeah, pretty crazy stuff there from the Brewers bullpen yesterday. The Giants will hand the ball in this game to Robbie Ray. He's 10-6 on the year, a 2.85 ERA, fresh off a decent start there against the Padres. Over the course of the season, obviously Robbie Ray has been excellent, but his team hasn't really held up so well. We'll see what he can do here against the Brewers. He faced them back in early April, and he was fine in that outing, but we'll see. This is kind of a different look Brewers team. Now, the Giants bullpen, elite, obviously no problems there. The offense, putting up 7 runs yesterday, kind of feels like a miracle. They're 25th in runs scored, 29th in batting average, and 27th in slugging percentage. This is absolutely not an amazing offensive team. So we'll see what they do here against the Brewers. Milwaukee does not have a starter confirmed for this game, and that's probably why we don't have numbers for this one yet. Obviously, the Brewers have been excellent this year. They've got a 6.5 game lead over the Cubs, so they could be putting somebody pretty solid out there. Their bullpen didn't look so good yesterday, which obviously they're not like a crazy elite bullpen, so I guess we shouldn't be shocked. The offense putting up only a single run, though, that was a little bit shocking. So we'll see what goes on in this one. Obviously, it's a wait-and-see spot with no numbers out for this game, but the Brewers in a bit of a bounce-back spot, they might be an interesting lean. Next up, guys, we have the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The Guardians lost 10-0 in Game 2 of this series. They've lost 4 in a row, and 7 of 8 now? Not having a great time. They're a 500 team after looking like they were really knocking on the door there for the wild card spot, looking less and less likely now. Gavin Williams get the start for him. He's 8-4 on the year, a 3.24 ERA, coming off a shutout appearance there against Arizona. 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed. So we'll see what he can do against the Rangers. Not the scariest lineup there that you could possibly face, but he hasn't faced them this season. So maybe that'll help him. Maybe that'll help them. The Guardians bullpen hasn't been awful at all this year. A top 5 bullpen most of the season, so that's a big help. The offense, though, 0-3-2. 5-3-4 over their last few games. They're 26th in the majors in runs scored, last in batting average, and second to last in on-base percentage. This is one of the worst offenses out there right now. So we'll see what they do against the Rangers, who are 65-66 on the year, 7.5 games back in the AL West, but want to be involved in that AL wildcard hunt. They'll hand the ball in this one to Merrill Kelly, who's 9-7 on the season, a 3.35 ERA. In his 4 starts since coming over there from Arizona, I would say he's had 3 very solid ones and 1 bad one. So we'll see what he can do here against the Guardians. Obviously, not the scariest team at the plate. He hasn't faced them this season, though, so we'll see how that goes. Looking at the bullpen for the Rangers, that's obviously not a concern. Their bullpen's been solid as well. The offense putting up 10 runs yesterday is definitely a rarity, not something you see all the time. They're 24th in the majors in runs scored and 28th in on-base percentage for a reason. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Guardians are plus 110. The Rangers are minus 130. We've got a total of 8. Cleveland, 33-32 on the road, 34-26-5 to the under on the road. The Rangers are 38-26 at home, 41-22-1 to the under at home. With a total of 8 in this one, guys, obviously I wish it was 8.5, but I definitely think under 8 is very live in this spot. You could also take no run first inning. You could also take under in the first 5. All of those are reasonable here, but I think under 8 is probably the best value because both teams, solid starters, solid bullpens, and not much offense to speak of. So under 8 is going to be my main lean. If you're begging me for a side, I will take the Guardians at slightly plus money here, but no real conviction on that one. The value here is that under. Rolling along here, guys, we've got the Chicago Cubs headed to LA to take on the Angels. The Cubs are currently up 12-1 in the bottom of the 8th, so I think we can put that one on the board as a win. So slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the Cubs with us there yesterday. The Cubs are going to hand the ball in this one to Jameson Taillon. He's 8-6 on the season, a 4.26 ERA. His last time on the mound back on the 19th was his first start since coming off the IL, and he was fantastic out there against the Brewers. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run allowed, and a 4-1 win there for the Cubs. So I'm expecting him to bounce back, or not to bounce back, but to continue to look well out there, to continue to have a good time out there. Obviously, coming off a great start and looking healthy again, that's going to be a huge boost for him and a big boost for the Cubs. Their bullpen hasn't been amazing down the stretch, but looking like they're coming off a good game, and they should be relatively well rested. Not going to burn your best guys when you're up 12-1 in the bottom of the 8th. The offense, obviously putting up a 12 spot, has to feel great. This offense has been very much due for a breakout performance. They've been floundering a little bit. They're still 6th in runs scored and 6th in slugging percentage. I think they're about to go nuts. Now, they're taking on an Angels team that's 61-67 on the season, not headed anywhere important. They'll hand the ball to Kyle Hendricks in this game, an ex-Cub who's 6-8 on the year, a 4.93 ERA. He got knocked around by the Reds his last time out, knocked around by the Dodgers time for that. His last 3 starts have all left quite a bit to be desired. Now, we'll see what he does here against the Cubs, a team that he has not faced this season, I don't believe. No, hasn't faced this season. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm not loving this spot for Kyle Hendricks. I'm not loving any spot for that Angels bullpen, one of the worst bullpens in the majors. And the offense seems like it's falling off as well. I mean, 1 run in their current game, 2, 4, 1, 11, and 2 over their last several games. They're 27th in batting average, 25th in on-base percentage, and 12th in slugging percentage. Not an offense that I'm super interested in backing in this spot. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Cubs are minus 145. The Angels are plus 125. Got a total of 9.5 in this one. The Cubs are 33-30 on the road, 30-29-4 to the over on the road. The Angels 34-33 at home, 36-27-4 to the over at home. I'm not going to take over 9.5, but I will certainly take the Cubs here at minus 145. I think Taillon is going to go out there and be great. Hendricks will probably struggle against his old team. I think there's a very real chance that the Cubs come out and get another blowout win, and they could be our lock of the day. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Reds let us down huge there yesterday. Abbott looking terrible. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Brady Singer, who's 11-9 this season, a 4.18 ERA. His last start, great. 6 innings, 1 run, 6 hits allowed, and a 4-1 win there over the Angels. So we'll see if he can run it back. Obviously, 4 out of his last 5 starts have been lights out. In terms of history against Arizona this year, no recent history. He did face them back in June and was good in that outing as well. So a lot of reasons to like Brady Singer in this game. The Reds bullpen, though, running out. I'm not getting a ton of reasons to love them right now. A 3.90 bullpen ERA, although Abbott was the main problem there yesterday. The offense, 1-5-1, 6-4-3 over their last few games. The inconsistency of their starters and the inconsistency of their offense is why I can't really take this team seriously as a playoff contender. They're 10th in runs scored, but 22nd in slugging percentage and 16th in batting average. So we'll see what they do against the Diamondbacks. They've been playing great, winning 4 in a row. They'll hand the ball to Zach Gallen in this game. He's 9-13 on the season, a 5.28 ERA. His last couple of starts struggled a little bit against both the Rangers and the Guardians. We'll see what he can do here against the Reds, a team that he faced back in early-ish June and was okay, but not great. In a game, we eventually saw the Reds win. So not loving this spot for Zach Gallen. I do think the Arizona bullpen continues to be not great. A 4.73 bullpen ERA doesn't get me super jazzed up. The offense has been good. 10-6-3-6 over this winning streak, but I don't know if I'm 100% sold. The offense is good, though. Got to give him some credit. They're still 5th in runs scored and 10th in batting average despite being gutted there at the trade deadline. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Reds are plus 115. The Diamondbacks are minus 130. We've got a total of 9. The Reds are 31-33 on the road, 35-28-1 to the under on the road. Arizona's 33-31 at home, 31-29-4 to the over at home. This does not feel good, but I'm backing the Reds at plus 115. They could possibly be our dog of the day. They could make the pin comment once again, even after burning us there yesterday. Singer has such good history against Arizona, has been throwing the ball great recently. The Reds are due for a win, obviously, after losing the first 2 in the series. Give me the Reds here on the road, getting plus money on a Sunday. Next on the dock, we've got the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. Looks like the Dodgers could get swept in this series. They've only scored 2 runs combined in the first 2 games, both very low scoring competitions. The Dodgers, I don't know, guys. I don't know. This team is not convincing me right now. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's 10-8 this year, a 2.90 ERA. His last start was against the Rockies. He was pretty good, but they lost that game 4-3. The last time he faced the Padres was a bit ago, back in late June, and he was okay. 6 1/3 innings, 7 hits, and 3 earned runs, though, was not enough to get the job done. So we'll see what Yamamoto can do in this one. He's going to need to be a little bit better. Obviously, the Dodgers bullpen needs to improve drastically just in general. That hasn't been a big strength for this team. The offense scoring a 1 run in each of the first 2 games of this series, kind of embarrassing stuff, if I'm being honest. When you look at their payroll, you cool, you're first in the majors in runs scored. Well, you can't hit the ball with a boat paddle right now, it doesn't feel like. So we'll see what they do here against the Padres, who at 74-56 on the year now have a 1-game lead in the NL West. They've won 5 in a row. They'll hand the ball in this one to Nick Pivetta, who's 13-4 this season, a 2.81 ERA. He's coming off back-to-back lights-out starts there against the Giants. His history against the Dodgers this season is not great. Struggled against them pretty mightily back in early June. So we'll see what he does this time. I am expecting him to be much better here against a cold-hitting team. Now, the bullpen for the Padres is amazing, guys. Clearly the best bullpen in the majors. No real question about that anymore. And the offense, they've been finding a way. 5-2-8. 8-5 and 3 over their last few games is not awful. They're currently 22nd in runs scored, 7th in batting average, though, and 9th in on-base percentage. Maybe these Padres are actually a scarier team than I thought. So, looking at the numbers for this one, the odds makers have it listed as a flip. Both teams listed at -110, totals out there of 8 or 7.5. The Dodgers are 30-32 on the road, 35-26 and 1 to the under on the road. The Padres are 42-21 at home, 34-27 and 2 to the under at home. There are 2 plays that I like in this game. First up, I'll definitely take under 8. There's very little offense going on in this game. Maybe that changes here on a Sunday. It's not impossible, but I highly doubt we see a crazy amount of offense here. I also like the Padres. I think Pivetta's going to have a bounce back. Yamamoto, not the best history there against the Padres, and not somebody I trust a ton in a pressure spot. So, yeah, give me the Padres here at -110 to win their 3rd straight against the Dodgers. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got the Sacramento Athletics headed to Seattle to take on the Mariners. The Athletics and Mariners are currently all tied up in the top of the 9th inning, so we'll see how Game 2 ends up. In Game 3, they're going to hand the ball to Jacob Lopez. The Athletics, young 27-year-old lefty, is 7-6 on the year, a 3.28 ERA. Coming off a decent but not dominant start against the Twins. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. But before that, he had a streak of 4 games where he hadn't given up a run. So, kid's been throwing the ball pretty great. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that. We'll see what he does against the Mariners. Obviously not the hardest hitting team out there. He has not faced Seattle this season, though. So, we'll see how that goes. But loving what I'm seeing from young Jacob Lopez right now. The Athletics bullpen, on the other hand, not so great. A bullpen ERA of nearly 5. The offense, obviously getting stymied so far in this series, but has been a very good offense this year. 10th in runs scored, 6th in batting average, 4th in slugging percentage. They've got some real hitters out there, guys. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against these Mariners, who are 69-60 on the year. They're still 2.5 games back of Houston, the AL West. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Logan Gilbert. Now, he's 3-5 this season, a 3.83 ERA. This guy, coming off of, pretty major injury, coming back this season, has worked his way sort of back into shape, but then got pounded by the Phillies his last time on the mound. 2 innings, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, and a 12-7 loss there for the Mariners. So not great news there. We'll see if he can bounce back here against the Athletics. Not the easiest team to face. He did start his season against them and dominated them back in March, but we're not really going to take that too much into consideration. So looking at the bullpen for the Mariners, that's not been a huge problem this season, but obviously hasn't been amazing down the stretch. That's a little bit of a concern for them. The offense has abandoned them once again. 1-3-2, 4-7-3 over their last few games. 12th in runs scored this year, but 21st in batting average and 16th in on-base percentage, and those hitting numbers are declining. So looking at the numbers for this one, the Athletics are plus 145. The Mariners are minus 165, a total of 7.5 in this game. The Athletics are 33-34 on the road, 32-29 and 6 to the over on the road. The Mariners are 38-25 at home, 31-28 and 4 to the over at home. First up, I think over 7.5 is very live in this game with Logan Gilbert on the mound. I think we could see some offense in this one. That won't be making the pin comment, though. A pick that does have a chance to make the pin comment is the Sacramento Athletics, or whatever, the Athletics at plus 145. Gilbert's not throwing the ball amazing right now. Jacob Lopez is. Obviously, the Athletics can pile up the offense when they get the chance. The Mariners bullpen hasn't looked completely unhittable recently. Give me the Athletics here, getting nearly 1.5 to 1. Last but not least, guys, we're looking at the Sunday night baseball matchup between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. The Red Sox just keep on churning out wins for us, guys. They've won the first 3 games of this series, looking to make it 4 in a row here. They've got a 1.5 game lead over the Yankees in the AL East, but still 5 games back there of Toronto. They'll hand the ball in this one to Dustin May. He's 7-9 on the year, a 4.59 ERA in his 3 starts since coming over from the Dodgers. A bad start against the Royals, a great start against Houston, and then a pretty decent start there against the Baltimore Orioles. So we'll see what he can do here against the Yankees. I'm not sure if he's faced he hasn't faced New York yet this season. I'm a little bit worried about him in this matchup, but the Yankees' bats have been pretty cold. So we'll see what Dustin May can do. Obviously, the Red Sox bullpen's been lights out this year, a 3.40 bullpen ERA, nothing wrong with that. The offense, 12-1-6, 3-3-3 over their last few isn't incredible, but coming off a 12-run game, has to feel pretty damn good. They are 4th in the majors in runs scored. They're 7th in slugging percentage, 7th in on-base percentage. Like, this is very clearly a top 6, 7, 5, something like that offense in the majors. So we'll see what they do here in Game 4 against the Yankees, who are reeling now. They're 69-60 on the year. They'll hand the ball to Carlos Rodon. He's 13-7 this season, a 3.24 ERA. His last start, he was very good against Tampa Bay. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and he's been throwing the ball well. Don't get me wrong. The last time he faced the Red Sox, though, did not go great. Faced him on back-to-back starts there in June. Both those games were losses for the Yankees, and both of them he gave up quite a bit. 5 innings, 5 runs allowed, 5 innings, 4 runs allowed. So I'm worried about Rodon in this spot. Not gonna sugarcoat it, guys. Definitely worried about Rodon. Obviously, very worried about that Yankees bullpen. It's been terrible. The offense has also disappeared in this series, scoring 1, 0, and 3 runs so far. The Yankees, guys, are not in great shape. Not in great shape whatsoever. I mean, obviously, they're way back there in the AL East in terms of their wild card situation. The Yankees, I mean, they're there. They're there. They've got a 3.5 game lead on the Royals. So maybe they don't have to be too terrified because the teams chasing them aren't very good. But things not looking so hot right now for the New York Yankees. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Red Sox are plus 140. The Yankees are minus 165, a total of 8.5 in this game. Boston's 30-34 on the road, 36-27-1 to the over on the road. That's actually an MLB best to the over. The Yankees are 37-28 at home, 35-28-2 to the under at home. I actually think over 8.5 is alive and well in this game. I wouldn't mind anybody taking that despite it being on Sunday Night Baseball. But better than that, guys, I'll take the Boston Red Sox. They've been so good to us lately. I feel like we owe it to them to take them in this game. Also, Rodon does not have good history against the Red Sox this year. I don't know why we'd want to back him and the Yankees in this spot unless it's just, to avoid the sweep on Sundays kind of deal. So give me the Red Sox here at plus 140, and I'd be lying if I said it had no chance to make the pinned comment. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets out there on Sunday, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description to check out StumpTheSpread.com. Check out those premium plays over there. We've got all the sports going right now, guys. We've got MLB. We've got regular season NFL Week 1 already posted over there in the premium section. College football coming at you hot and heavy here in the next few days. Some more college football. No more bad beats for us in college football, hopefully. And obviously, guys, you got NFL preseason as well and the MLB picks. So get in on that while the getting's good. And we will see you guys right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.